The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the host are for entertainment purposes only.
Yep.
Do not get mad.
Nope.
Do not get upset.
Don't.
Do not get offended.
Uh-uh.
Do not pass go.
Cry, baby.
Do not collect $200. Instead, pay us, and then we'll shut up.
Yeah. Get ready to get handsome. What's going on, podcast? Early Bird and Ninja.
Good evening, fellow Americans. I had hoped when I became president I would not have to do this again. Another massacre. Uvalde, Texas. An elementary school. Beautiful, innocent, second, third, fourth graders.
They're the ones he likes to smell on.
And how many scores of little children who witness what happened, see their friends die as if they're on a battlefield, for God's sake. There's a lot we don't know yet. There's a lot we do know. The parents who will never see their child again, never have them jump in bed and cuddle with them. Parents who will never be the same.
Listen.
To lose a child is like having a piece of your soul ripped away. There's a hollowness in your chest. You feel like you're being sucked into it.
I mean, they putting a lot on it, but
yeah. And look, I don't want to play the whole video, like I said, but just listen to this. He's just a goofy ass, fucking, like, I don't know, man. It at this point with school shootings, bro, like they're gonna, like, this is gonna be a every couple months thing. They go on there, they weep, they say all the nice things, and then, like, that's it. They forget about it.
Right. I mean, they not trying to do anything about stopping this, man. Like, you're not even putting security at the school.
Bro, I'm telling you.
It just...
Let's get to it then. My name's Ninja.
I'm Early Bird the Night Wolf. It's a Gemini thing. Don't expect you to understand it.
And you're watching
What's Going On.
What's Going On. Going on. And we're talking about
what's
school
going
shootings.
on now? Yeah, school shootings.
Yeah, we're not gonna get too crazy with it because this is a sensitive subject, of course, and it does hit home because, you know, I got kids in school and I fear for their lives every day.
Yes.
So, you know, this is more the government. What the fuck they gonna do about it? They sit here on these screens and they talk their shit, but what are they really saying? They really ain't saying shit.
Shared by the siblings,
it's always the same shit.
Family members and the community.
They apologize, or they do this and they do that.
Scriptures.
They want to throw Bible scriptures, but let's talk about the real problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is gonna go back to the touchy subject of gun control. You know, how safe the kids are in school and shit like that. But where does it stop? Honestly, where does it stop? How about we ask this? Where does it start? Does it start with the government? Does it start with the schools, the teachers, the parents? Where do we start to fix this problem? Is my question.
I feel it most definitely starts with the parents. They have to start in the home.
Right.
Because actually I found a statistic about that in the Washington Post. It was saying that most of these school shootings can be prevented if the child didn't have access to a gun.
Right.
So I think it most definitely starts at home.
Okay.
Now, it's tricky because you have the right to bear arms. I
Right.
think firearms are good for safety, but the way they're being used is just terrible, man.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, bro. But that's what I'm saying. All right, so you say it starts at home, which yeah, it does. It can start at home, but let's say I don't know. Let's say you have that irresponsible person who has the gun at home with some nut job kid that maybe having trouble in school. Maybe he's getting picked on, which is also another thing. So it's like a circle, bro. It's like a vicious
Right.
circle. Like it could start at home, but it also could start at school because he's probably getting picked on in school. You know what I'm saying? But then it also could start with the government because the government should have did something knowing that maybe the parents are a little sick in the head, and now they have this. They should do a check on all the whatever family is living with you. You know what I'm saying? Not just the person buying the gun. Okay, you buying the gun. How many people live in your house? You got young kids. I think we should, like a kind of like a check. I know it sounds crazy, but wouldn't you rather be safe than sorry? Like you tell that parent, hey, you have a mental ill kid in the house with mental illness. I don't think it's a good idea you have a gun.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and it sounds like the government's picking on somebody, but like if they would have just did that one check, that would have been one less gun in a house with a kid that's mentally unstable or just fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe checked up in that kid in school, see how he's doing.
Well, the way I see it like a relay race, right? So the parents starts the race, and then they pass the baton to the school, and then the school passes the baton to the government. So it starts at home with the parents, right?
Right.
You have to. It's more than just. I feel like sometimes parents get lazy and say, "Hey, don't touch this."
Right.
Right. But you're not really educating the child on what it is and why they shouldn't touch it. You know what I mean? Because you're telling them not to touch it, but the child is still curious, and because you're not teaching them, you're not going to feed that curiosity. So now they're going to have to learn from it by putting their hands on it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like the old saying: you have to touch it, you burn yourself on the stove, and then you learn.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So you have to start in the home, and you did what you could. Like you bought it, you educated them on it, you locked it up, did everything you could possibly do. But some way, somehow, the kids still got the gun and they went to school. Right. So they was able to get through that first checkpoint. So now they're at school. The school has to have something, metal detectors, random checks, something. Do like a wellness check. Are you getting bullied? Are you getting picked on? Like just you have to randomly do things to find out where people live. Because this coming in every day, sitting in class and just going through the motions, I feel like that's a very old way of teaching, and society has moved so far from the old ways of doing things.
Right.
You feel me? So I feel like every so often you just have to send the kid to the school counselor and just ask, hey, how's everything going? How you feel about school? Is anybody picking them? No, these kind of things. You have to, really, you have to do more. If you really want to make a difference, you're gonna have to do more. So, and let's just say you do all of that, and they get past that checkpoint. Okay, now the government comes in, right? And as the government is like, okay, well, we did all of this, but this still happens. So, okay, so now what we have to do is we're going to beef up security at school. So instead of one guard, we have 2 guards or 3 guards or however many guards you need for the number of kids at school. And then you have rules in place. So how did the kid get the gun? If he got the gun from the parent, was the gun locked up? or what is it just laying around?
Yeah.
And then you have to hold them accountable based on, you know, those questions. So it's like everybody's gonna have to do their part to fix this situation. Banning guns, I don't think is the right solution. Telling people that they can't own guns, I don't think is the right solution, because you're still gonna break the law. I mean, you're not supposed to sell drugs, but you sell drugs anyway. You're not supposed to kill people kill people anyway. So just saying can't have guns, it's not gonna fix anything.
Right.
But you have these school shootings, and then as you saw in the video, beginning of the podcast, you saw Joe Biden making a speech as if the speech is going to help. It was going to. They act like I hate these things because they act like we're with the Grinch. No, like the Grinch stole all the Christmas gifts, and he sat up there by himself, and then his heart grew 3 sizes, and he just changed his emotions. And, like, that's not going to happen, man. That's not going to happen. Please.
Stop. I'm not going to do these school shootings no more. Like,
stop the speeches, man. It's not going to change people's heart. It's not going to change their minds. It's pointless. Like, you have to put in these. You have to put in the plan, man. That's just how I feel.
Listen, in New York, you couldn't get a gun to save your life legally. It's stupid hard. I lived in New York a good bit of my life. The only people I saw with guns were the people who weren't supposed to have guns.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now you got these kids out here with pistols and all types of shit, but the people who need to defend themselves can't. Bro, you can't even carry. Right. Yeah. You can't even carry a knife without getting, pinched up by the narcs, because if they see you and you got a knife in your pocket, or they see a little switchblade, bro, you're getting hemmed up and they're taking you away, bro. Like, I remember one time I had a knife in my pocket and they were like, oh, they're taking it out, they checking to see if it's 4 fingers. I'm like, bro, I can stab you with a fork and it can be less than 4 fingers and I can kill you with it.
Right.
But that's the kind of things those big cities are on. So you mean to tell me, like, I can't protect myself, so I can't carry a knife, I can't get a gun, but yet these guys out here who are doing illegal shit, they got guns, they got all types of shit. They're gonna go rob me now, and that's what I'm saying.
That's why I feel like telling people to not own guns is not the answer, because you have your law-abiding citizens who abides by the law, and they're putting their trust in you and these policies that you're putting in place. So you say I can't own a gun, so I'm not going to own a gun. Right. Now, as a law-abiding citizen, I'm walking the street, and here goes somebody who doesn't care about the law. They got a gun. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right, exactly. And that's how a lot of this shit is going, because the wrong people have the gun, and the people who need the guns can't get them. So it right to bear arm. How right do I have if I can't even get arms in New York?
Right.
So technically, that amendment that everybody's so freaking out about doesn't even properly apply to people in city areas. Like, they can't get a gun. You have to do all type, and God forbid, you have a small, very small. And when I say this, I mean, like, let's just say you went to the county for some weed. You're not getting a gun, bro. They see that shit on your record, you're not getting a gun.
Okay.
So even if you're a law-abiding citizen and you got caught up on some bullshit when you were a kid, you're not getting no gun. And millions of people have records in New York City, whether it's traumatic, and whether it's a traumatic thing that happened to them, or it's something minor like a charge for some weed. You're not getting a gun because they're gonna see that in your background. So therefore, right to bear arm, but that shit only applies to certain places. Like, look, I'm in Florida now, bro. Listen, I've been out here a couple months now, and even in Georgia, but in Florida it's a little bit more dense than Georgia was. So people in Florida, man, they don't play, bro. You know, they watching you. Now you can carry concealed, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's a little bit like, yo, if I fuck around, I might get popped. You know what I'm saying? Or if I walk up in this nigga's crib, it's a wrap for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I see you on my camera, I got the gun right behind the door in case you did something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how real that shit gets out here. So I can see how, yeah, right to bear arms is a thing. It's cool or whatever. But that also could be a double-edged sword because now you got right to bear arm young kids out here. You know, as soon as they turn 21, they going out there and they getting these things. You know what I'm saying? And they buying them for their friends and they running around.
Yeah, but I mean, the access to guns is maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, it's way too easy.
To the gun.
Bro, they have gun shows every 5 minutes out here. And in Georgia, I always thought there was gun shows everywhere.
It's gun shows.
Pawn shops, got them. I mean, is it hard to get them? No.
Not at all.
It's I mean, you can literally walk up in a pawn shop with $300 and get yourself a 9. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. I mean, yeah, they might fill out a little bit of paperwork, but I don't really think the paperwork is like, it's not like getting an ID. Like if I go to the motor vehicles and get an ID, they want to see this, they want to see proof. When you go to fill out for this shit, they just fill out a little paper, they do a little bullshit ass background check, I guess. And
okay, let me like I said, I did my research on this, and I'm gonna give you just one statistic of how easy it is for kids to get guns. It says the ranks of school shooters include a 6-year-old boy who killed a classmate he shot on purpose, and a 15-year-old girl who did the same thing to a friend for rejecting her romantic overtures. And the statistic was saying that most school shooters are committed by people who are the age of 16.
Yeah, man.
But that's just how easy it is to get your hands on
right.
firearm.
And I don't know if they said, but where those guns came from? Their parents?
Parents.
Okay, so and like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of the times parents don't see, because as a parent myself, like, you know, in some people's eyes, your kid can't do no wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you live with them every day. You never seen this energy before.
Right.
But I don't know. Just me being the way I am, and I'm an open book, and I kind of just feel everything out. I could kind of feel people's energy. If I know something's wrong with one of my kids in the morning, and I feel like something's wrong, where I like, yo, there's something bugging, I'm gonna ask questions. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, it's all right, just send him off to school, he'll be all right.
Right.
Like you have to involve yourself in your kids' school life, and in their social life. You know, a lot of parents, I think what they do wrong is that they raise their kids, but they don't kind of, I don't know how to say this, but they raise them, they show them, but they don't tell them how to do things. They're not raising them.
Yeah, they make sure they got what they need, like food,
right,
place for their clothes, but
right. So you could be
down and talking with the child, making
right,
sure they know
right.
the kid. Yeah.
So I could take care of my kids. I could give them everything they want. That doesn't mean you're raising them right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I know exactly what you mean.
I sit down every now and then, and I'll be like, I'll tell Jaden, I'll be like, yo, you know, what's going on? Everything okay in school? Any trouble? You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to talk about? Anybody bothering you? You have to do that. You have to do that. Yeah.
But
I feel like a lot of times parents don't do that because they're so busy with life that they literally forget that these are moments they need to inject themselves in, because too much of anything is not good. You listen.
Yeah.
If you have a bowl and you fill that shit up with water, they're gonna spill out. That's the kid. That's a kid when they're learning. They're the bowl. You're filling them up. When that shit starts filling up too much, you have to stop so they can chill for a bit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Till some of that water kind of just gone or dries up, then you start over again. I feel like kids are, especially nowadays, they're under a lot of pressure, socially, mentally, physically, just with everything. Not saying that it's any harder or easier than when we were kids, but every generation has their thing. When I was young, there was no social media, there was no computers. It was just, you know, you wanted to be cool with your friends and your kid and your boys in the block and your parents, and You know, it was a different era, man. It was so different. And now I watch my kids growing up, and I'm 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 with them all the time. They have a mom and a dad that loves them. You know, it's a closed home. It's not broken. You know what I mean? It's everybody's in place. But it doesn't mean that at any moment something could go wrong, because one of them could be suffering and nobody pays attention because I'm either too busy, the wife is too busy. So I always make time, even if it's in the morning when I'm taking them to school. I'll be like, yo, everything cool in school? Nobody's any trouble? You know, you can always talk to me and we'll handle it. No, Dad, everything is cool. And even if I feel like he's not telling me something, I always still, hey, I gotta let me go. I hate to say this because I don't want to sound like I'm the nosy parent, but if my kid has social media and he's under 18, I'm checking it. You know what I mean? I want to know what social medias you have. I look through them. I don't look through his text messages, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a little bit borderline, you know what I'm saying? But I do keep it a buck with him. I'm like, yo, if I see some weird shit on here, you're going to have an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because every now and then I'll just pop in and be like, yo, let me, what's going on? Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. My wife does the same shit because social media will have your kids doing some wild shit. I mean, look how many kids done killed themselves or killed somebody else doing something stupid because of social media. You understand what I'm saying? So if I can nip that shit in the butt early, people could thank me later because my kid didn't go shoot up a school.
Yeah, and I definitely
feel
agree.
Me?
And that's why I feel like the parents have to do their part. You have to check on people, bro. It's like it's not enough to just say, well, they got the clothes, they got the video games they asked for, so I'm raising my child right. You really have to do a deep dive because I've seen some situations where these kids, they're out and about being a menace to society, and then the parent is just oblivious to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't raise you like that. I didn't do it like that. You don't have to, because the things that you don't teach your kids in the home, I promise you the outside world is going to teach them everything that they want to know and the things that they don't need to know. Yep. So when your kid comes back in the house, you have to sit them down and filter out that filth, bro.
Yeah.
You have to, okay, where did you learn this from? Well, who taught you that? Where'd you get this from? I ain't raised you to do that. They getting that from the friends in the outside world. So you can't just say, well, I make sure they got this and I make sure they got that. Money. You have to sit down and make sure the mental and the spiritual is right as well.
Right. Hey, I agree. Because even with Adam, he's my youngest, and he just turned, 9, and when he just think about that. When you met him, he was a baby.
Oh my goodness, man.
When he started school, he had a rough time adjusting because he's really to himself. He's a sweet kid, and I think that's what gets him. He's a real nice kid, real polite. But he was having issues just talking with other kids. He was a real introvert at first. You know what I mean? And now he's a little bit more open. He's still to himself. He's still quiet, but I remember one time he told me some kids were making fun of each other and shit like that, and I was like, how did that make you feel? He's like, I felt it was not good. I was like, exactly. That's why you don't make fun of somebody. I was like, now if somebody's making fun of you, you go hard, you know what I'm saying? And if somebody, physically touches you, you do what you have to do. And if they're bigger than you, you tell, I explained all those little gems to him. And now I tell this kid something, like you make fun of him, bro, he's gonna roast your ass, boy. Like he's on, bro, he's on it. Like he's
good.
He's like it's so like he's so quick now, razor sharp tongue. Like sometimes they'll be like, yo, like I'll be like, yo, shit. Like, yo, for real, bro. I have to tell him, yo, like he'll say some shit. I'm like, me and Jess will be like, yo, chill out, bro.
Oh goodness, man.
But you see what I'm saying? Like it's like some people are not training their kids mentally to partake in being made fun of, and like I said, kids are mean, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bro, listen, I went to an elementary school when I had to go to a meeting. Kids are mean, bro. Like that age, there's no filth. They're ruthless, bro. Like they're going for the net. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. And you know, me and Jess had, you know, we had to talk with them. You know, be nice unless you have to, but I think a lot of parents don't do that, and when they want to do it, it's too late. Their kid has already became a bully, or they became the prey. Like it's just so iffy, man. Because sometimes I go to school, you know, if I ever pass up in a school with the kids, or I have to go pick them up, I look at the kids and I hate to say this, but I don't want to sound like I'm judging a book by its cover, but sometimes I see some of these kids, bro, and I'm like, yeah, somebody needs to check up on that kid. You know what I'm saying? Because they just look spaced out, some of them, bro. I don't know when was the last time you've been into an elementary school, but I go, you know, every couple months, you know, for the kids. And a lot of the kids seem regular, and then you see the one sitting somewhere, he just look like he just want to do something. And I'm like, yo,
man.
I was like, yo, that little homie over there, he's. I always tell Adam, like, you be nice to him. Yeah. Bro, and I know I say this fucking around, but I tell the kid, like, look, you be nice, because God forbid one of these fucking kids come into the school with guns blazing, they'll look at you in the eye and be like, yo, he's good with me, and they'll go keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it sucks that I have to say shit like that, but it's like we living in a whole different time, bro. Whole different time.
It's crazy.
It's like, look, I'm gonna show you this shit real quick.
I don't know, but like they feel like that's just the answer to grab a gun, because and when it's stat here says in 2022 there was 46 school shootings in that year. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
I watched Michael. You know Michael Moore. He does all those like documentaries and shit. He did one about school shootings, bro. And he put up. I was looking at this, man, and this is the Oklahoma. This is the bomber. I mean, all these guys, bro. Just like
so, it was two shooters at Columbine.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. They got them together. But I think they were like teammates or some shit like that. I don't know. But I mean, I hate to say it, but yo, if I had to judge a book by its cover, bro, I'd be like, yo, yeah, these guys are crazy, man. Like, I mean, look at the kid with the red hair, bro. Like, you didn't think he was gonna do something crazy? Like, look at this. I mean, come on, bro. Like, we have to check in on these kids, bro, because I think as a society, we're probably failing dumb, because they're probably on some kind of weird medicine that's making them act that crazy. That's another thing too that they don't want to talk about. A lot of these kids are on
medicine,
some type of ADHD medicine. Let's keep it. That's one thing that never comes up in these shootings, is what medicine have they been taking, or were they taking prior to them being a shooter? Because God, look, if you get pulled in, they're gonna be like, oh, he's an ex-drug addict or ex-felon. They're gonna go all the way back and check your record to see what kind of fuck shit you've been doing, right? Just so they could throw more time on your books if they want to lock you up, right?
Right.
When these kids do this shit, they don't go. Yeah, they check their social media and all that bullshit, but they don't go back. They don't go. Do they go back? I never hear them say, "Oh, they were taking ADHD medicine for 5 years prior to the shooting," and you know. Okay, what happened with that? Let's follow up on that. Was he still taking it? Was he taking a different variety of medicine? Was he taking some new shit that made him just wig out? Was his brain okay? I mean, what kind of medicine was he on? You don't ever hear anything about anything with medicine. And you cannot tell me that all these shootings happen and ain't none of these motherfuckers on some kind of drugs.
I think I know those drugs have an effect on how you act.
Oh, definitely, bro. Definitely, bro. Listen. Go ahead. I'll tell you my story in a minute.
When I was working at FedEx, the guy who hired me was good. To me, he was a good dude. I don't know how everybody felt, but to me, he was a good dude, real good dude. But he told me a story. He said that he was taking this medicine. Now, before he was taking the medicine, life was good. Him and his lady was about to get married, all this kind of stuff. So he started taking his medication, and I think like then 6 months. He said it was like a really short period time period. But him and his girl started having problems. He was overly aggressive and all this kind of things. And he told that doctor, he said, "Take me off this medication now." And he said it has an effect on you, and the effect is usually some type of aggression. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna add on to that story. When we were in Georgia, Jaden was in elementary school. Every fucking week, bro, the school would be like, Jaden Ruiz is not paying attention. Jaden Ruiz is too hyper. Jaden blah 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 blah. I swear, every week for months. So we go for parent teachers shit, right? They like, yeah, I think we need to put Jaden on medicine, ADHD medicine, blah 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 blah. So me being the person I am, I'm not a big drug person. I don't know if you know that, but you should know by now. You know me for a while. I'm not big on drugs. I had a lot of family members who into all that shit. It just wasn't my thing. It's been a curse in mine and my wife's family for years. We just don't fuck with it. I don't even smoke cigarettes, my G. Like, I don't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? The most craziest shit you catch me doing is maybe 2 cans of Pepsis. You know what I mean? Back to back. But I don't do none of that shit, right?
Right.
So they want to put him on this medicine. I'm already like, no. Jessica's like, well, you know, he's not paying attention. I'm like, no. She's like, well, let's just give it a try. You know, she wants the best for him, and I understand that. But to me, as a 5 or 6, 7-year-old kid, bro, you're sitting in class for 8 hours of the day with some boring ass teacher that you don't want to fuck with in a classroom with probably 20 other kids that you don't even give a fuck about.
Make it make sense, bro. That's what he's saying. Make it make sense.
So, whatever. Listen, we put the kid on the medicine for like 2 weeks. Bro, when I tell you, it broke my heart to watch my kid come home and look like a fucking zombie, nigga. Bro, I was so mad, bro. Like, he looked like, bro, he would come on. I'd be like, Bubs, you hungry? I'm not hungry, Dad. The side effect to the thing was mellowness and starvation, because he wouldn't want to eat anything. So I'm like, no. Just no. Bro, I don't like it. I did not, and don't get me wrong, it might work for your kid. I've had people argue with me, talk about, well, it worked great for my kid, and I'm like, and people get mad at me because you know me, I'm real blunt, right? So when I tell my story, and I'll be like, nah, I'm not fucking with those drugs. They're not good for kids. They fuck your kids up. And people get, and this is what pisses me off. People get so offended by what I'm saying. This is my truth. What I'm saying, if you have kids that are on ADHD medicine, and I say my kid is off that shit because it makes him weird, and I don't think it's a good idea for any parent to put their kid on that drug. But if you do, then that's you. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, people will get offended when I say I think parents who do that are crazy. They be like, oh, well, I put my kid on here and he's fine, he's doing good. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's your kid. That's great. If it's working for you, that's fine. Talk to me in 10 years when your son can't fucking see out of one eye or he can't focus without the medicine. Then you come talk to me. If he's good, then fine. But the problem is that I had these teachers who are not doctors telling me my kid needs medicine. So then when I do take my kid to the doctor, I'm like, doctor's just going with the school because they want to make that bread.
Yeah.
Selling this medicine. Because they get a cut at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. When they get that, they get funding for something.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Anybody can roast me, tell me in the comments that I'm wrong. Bullshit. Alright? Half those kids are on drugs. in school already. ADHD medicine, all up in their ass all the time because they're too hyper, bro. They're fucking 8-year-old kids, bro. You tell me what 8-year-old kid can sit on the couch for longer than an hour without him doing something.
Right. I mean, the kid got plenty of energy that they need to burn off, and they want to take recess out of school and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's crazy. Like the way things are set up doesn't work the way life is now, and nobody wants to update any of this stuff.
Nope.
And then they wonder why we're having all these problems and these issues. It just doesn't make sense.
It don't. Look, you read the side effects. Mood change, sleep problems, dry mouth, high blood pressure. I mean, delaying growth. Then you wonder why you got all these short kids out here. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been taking this shit since they were way little. I mean, it's just the list goes on, bro. And you can't tell me that they're not affected by that, bro. Bro, I refuse to put my kids on any of that shit. My kid is acting up? Okay, that's great. Then I don't know. You're going to have to deal with him. You're the fucking teacher. Figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, when people bring me the car to fix, I got to figure out the problem, not them. And then I fix it. You do the same. You figure out a way to teach my kid. If you can't teach him, then that. I mean, as long as he ain't fucking throwing shit out the window or acting crazy. Like, I understand there's kids out there that be doing some wild shit. Trust me, I know. I've seen kids throw shit out windows. Yeah, but that is discipline. That needs to be something that needs to be dealt with at home or with the parents. Not telling me my kid is, staring out the ceiling because you're trying to teach math and now he needs to pop medicine because he's looking at the fucking wall. Or, but yeah, he's a little out of focus. Fine. I mean, figure it out, man. I don't know, man. I just think everything has a drug for it. Your eyes blink too much. You got blinkinitis. Now you got to go take sick medicines, and now your eyes are open like this. But guess what? Now you constipated. Bro, get out of here, bro. This shit drives me insane.
Yeah, it drives me crazy too, man. It's like it's a pill for everything, man. It's ridiculous.
I'm not with it, bro. And that goes and like I said, to the school shooting stuff, it's just it doesn't make sense because okay, we don't want to take the guns away. Fine, the government can't figure out an issue. I mean, how to fix the issue. Fine, then why don't the schools put metal detectors in place? Listen, I was in New York going to high school in the hood. Bro, people were fighting after school every day. No guns drawn. Maybe somebody might get poked up with a knife or a razor. That was the New York way. But nobody would 4 o'clock, shit popped off, no gunshots. Bro, I never, ever. And people were probably bringing guns into school, but nobody ever popped off in the school. And then when they started putting metal detectors, never saw a gun, bro. You couldn't even listen. You couldn't even sneak eggs on Halloween into my fucking high school. You know why? Because at the gate, they will take your bag off and smash it to make sure you don't have no eggs in that shit. And if you did, guess what? You had eggs on your books. Bro, how hard is it? How hard is it to put metal detectors, bro? Like I understand, like they want the schools to look pretty. Metal detectors make it look like a prison. I get it, but if you think about it, school's already a prison. It's already a prison, bro. School is a fucking mental prison. It is there to break your kid's spirit. I think schools are old school, literally. I think they're teaching. I think their way of teaching is old. I don't think it's relevant anymore. And they haven't upgraded the way you teach. I mean, yeah, they added iPads. Great. Now the kid could be with the iPad all day long, learning shit on it. Because half the time it's some bullshit that nobody wants to learn anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think school, I don't know how true this is, but they were saying school was designed so that the kids can go straight from school to the factory.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They already have that behavior.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, but that's not what America is now. So you have to update the way these schools are, the way these kids are being taught, and the way schools are being ran.
Yeah, but that's the issue. They don't want to They don't want to do that. They don't want creative people. They don't want that shit. School is forced so we can stay within. The only way I could put it is like slaves. Like it's a fucking slave factory. You know what I'm saying? It's just they put you in a bunch of classes and you just do what the man says and that's it. And you do it again in junior high school. You do it again in high school, and then you go to college and you fork out $150,000 to become a doctor or a lawyer, and you pay that shit off for the rest of your life until you die.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck is that about? But then you got people on TikTok. Yeah.
You just gotta stay rich and empowered, man.
And that's sad. What I'm saying. School is not. It's not. Listen, the first school built was not built for people to learn shit. It was built to keep people from learning shit. You know what I'm saying? It was built so they had a bunch. Oh, I'm gonna teach you how to work in this factory, and then you're gonna go do that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't made for creators and free thinking people, bro. It wasn't. And I hate to say it. I feel bad that teachers don't get paid enough, but they really don't.
No,
and with all the migrants coming in, you really think school is gonna be any better now, bro? It's not, bro. It's not. School is just old, man. It's old system. It's not good. Like, bro, in all of the years I went to school, nobody in my school talked about credit. Nobody talked about how to get land. Nobody talked about how to get property or how to properly buy a house or even work. They talked about work, but they didn't push you in any direction to go. I remember when I told my counselor I wanted to do because the counselors always come around and be like, so what do you want to do when you get older? You know, that bullshit ass talk that they give to you when you're a kid. So what do you want to do, little Timmy, when you get older? Everybody wants to be a firefighter or police or fucking astronaut. I told my counselor I wanted to work with music, but not really producing, because I was into music. I'm still into music, but I wanted to learn how to like make speakers and hook up wires and all that, like that kind of stuff in music. Not everything in music has to be a rapper or producer. There's a whole world of music. It's sounds, and I wanted to learn that shit. You know how speakers are built. I wanted to do shit like that. You know what this motherfucker told me?
What?
This bitch told me, why don't you pick something more realistic?
Yo,
bro, I'm 16 years old. What do you mean more realistic? Like, I like music and I want to learn these things. What's more realistic? Oh, I'm not talking down to nobody, but like, you want me to be what? Just a garbage man? Like, what, a bus driver? Like, that's more realistic? In that case, just why the fuck do I got to go to school then? Send me to a fucking bus school. What the fuck am I here for? You know what I'm saying?
Make too much sense, man.
And that's what I'm trying to say, bro. It's like I tell the kids now, I'm like, look, I know you guys don't dig school, but by law, you gotta send your kids to school. I gotta send my kids into a target practice every day and not know if they're gonna get hurt or not. You know, if something were to happen to them, that's my kid. You know what I'm saying? That's my kid that just got shot by some other kid or by some fucking other loser that can't deal with his life because.
Right.
And now, who do I blame? I can't, bro. I'm telling you, man. It doesn't make sense for me to send my kids to school that's not safe. But yet, you got government buildings that I can't even sneak in a pen. Like, why they need protection? Everybody in this building is grown. They could figure this shit out for themselves. Those young kids can't. Those young kids can't figure out if a gun goes off. They don't know what to do. Government buildings don't need 20 cops in front of it. Who gives a fuck about those guys? Nobody cares about them. Nobody's looking for these guys. You know what I'm saying?
And what's sad to me is that they're not going to do anything about it, because if it's two things that motivate white people, it's money and the loss of life. You got little white kids that's doing they like it. These white people ain't doing nothing at all about this. So they're not gonna do anything. Period. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So
listen, and it's funny you said that because I'm dead looking at this shit right here, and this is a chart just recent from 82 to 23 of all the mass shootings, and white folks, 80% of them. 26 is blacks, Latinos is 12, Asians is 10, others, and then you got Native Americans, which is 3, which is probably they shooting their uncle, and unknown, unclear. So that's just but 80%, bro. So our biggest problem are, and I hate to say it, but young white kids. Young, and why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because they're probably on some kind of medicine their teacher put them on, or they're getting bullied in school, and nobody knows how to treat them. Nobody talks to them about being bullied. Nobody's checking in on them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, in your household, who you used to live with? Was it you, your sister, right? Back in the day. Okay. I'm pretty sure your family every once in a while be like, yo, Earl, what's popping? Everything cool in school? Or like your cousins or your uncles would be like, yo, what's going, like somebody was checking in on you. Correct?
Right.
Most black families do that. Even the ones that are broken, they still come and they check up on you. You might have an uncle or aunt just come in randomly or come in and checking on you. Spanish people, the same thing. We'll have somebody come in. My uncle will always come in and check up on me. You know what I'm saying? And he lived in the Bronx. He would call, you know, hey, Papa, you need anything? What's up? Yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Just the thought of somebody checking in on you will set you free.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So picture a lot of these kids don't have that outlet because a lot of them are probably rich. You know, I don't want to say rich, but kind of better on the better scale of living. They obviously live in good neighborhoods because half the times these school shootings are in good neighborhoods. Top notch areas. They're not getting something. They're not getting something. They're not getting the love, the attention.
We've all heard the stories of parents so busy working they ain't really got time for the kid.
Right, and that's the sucky part.
Yeah, they choose to make the money over spending time with the kid.
And that's the shitty part is because they're out there making money for their family to live, but it's like they're forgetting the nourishment part that those kids need, bro.
Right.
It doesn't matter what color you are. That kid needs that love. Black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, doesn't matter. They all need that nourishment, bro. They need that what's going on moment. Like, yo, everything's cool. You know what I'm saying? You ask one of those kids, is everything cool? And they just say something that just remotely lets you know that something's wrong. You can fix it. You know something's up. You know what I'm saying? That's why when those people on the screen on the TV, they be like, I ain't know little Timmy was about that life. Nah, you weren't paying attention, bro. Yeah, he was telling you something, bro. Listen, no good kid is just gonna go one day, grab a gun and start blazing the place, bro. Like, shit leads up to that. If he was getting bullied in school and he came home mad, did you ask him what happened? Probably not. You probably let him go up in his room because you wasn't home. You understand? There was nobody there to cross that.
Ask him how his day was. And,
there was nobody there to cross his path that day.
Yeah. Open up. You know what I mean? No, just how was your day or what happened, and then he can talk about it from there.
Bro, everybody needs to vent, bro. Everybody. Is that one thing I learned, bro? Is venting and solitude, bro. Everybody needs those things, bro. Not everybody needs to be around people all day long, but not everybody wants to be alone all day long either. I'm telling you, man, that's what's going on with these kids, bro. They're not being spoken to. They're not being checked up on. They're being dismissed because they're kids. Oh, they'll grow up. They'll get over it. Listen, nobody knew. When I was coming up, mental illness was not a thing. If I told somebody I was ADHD, they would have told me, "Suck it up, bitch." You know what I'm saying? Like that was my generation's curse. There's nobody. They would tell me to suck it up. Like we didn't know what that was. I didn't know until I got older that I was, had anxiety and all this other crazy shit. I didn't know. I just thought these feelings were normal for me. You know what I'm saying? I thought these feelings were supposed to be these feelings, and that was it.
Yeah. But I do have a question. Now, with the way the economy is these days, you got to work like 3 jobs just to maintain. Can you blame the parent if they're not as attentive to the kid?
I mean, can't, because they're working 3 jobs, yo. So that, again, like I said, a vicious circle. Government is greedy. We're losing all types of jobs everywhere, all over the place. It doesn't matter. You got Amazon starting to deliver shit in fucking flying birds. You got McDonald's have R2D2 delivering your food. You understand what I'm saying? So, you got Pizza House, for crying out loud. They try, or Domino's trying to deliver pizza in cars that drive themselves. So the technology is taking away and giving us something. They're taking away our work, but they're giving us opportunity to become better people by learning these things. But the problem is that they're not teaching these things in school, bro. There's no, like, I don't know, I haven't been in school in years, but I know when I was in school, they weren't teaching me how to fix cars. Right. I had to grow up and go to some other kind of, like, they should, early on, they should teach you more. They should teach you about money. They should teach you about shit like that. You shouldn't have to wait till you're almost 20 years old to go to, go off somewhere else and try to figure it out. I'm not saying to make a kid go to workshop when he's 8 years old, but introduce him to something he might like. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do with my kids now. Bro, everything they want to try. Jaden wanted to try football. Boom, tried it. He didn't really care for it. He wanted to try karate. Boom, now he's into that shit. He's been doing that the longest. I got Adam into drawing and reading and building Legos just so his imagination could run. Like technology, I want them to grab something and run with it. I don't want them to just be like, I don't know. Jaden knows how to video edit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's dope.
Yeah, he knows how to do all that shit. Adam likes computers. He's into gaming and he knows how to mod shit. Like, bro, like it frustrates me because I feel bad for kids because I feel like they don't get the level of learning they deserve because schools are not they're just not. They're teaching them old shit that doesn't matter, bro. Like, let's keep it real. Like, they teach them history wrong for the most part. You know what I'm saying? The math is fucking stupid. Yeah, I get you need math. If you want to build houses, you need to learn dimensions and inches and meter and all this shit. I get that. But the way they teach it is so boring. Of course, nobody wants to build a house. That shit sucks when you're trying to learn that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The teachers are frustrated. They're not getting paid enough to do this shit. So they're over it. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's just
because if you look at it, you're going somewhere you don't want to go. You're around people you don't want to be around. You're hearing things you don't want to hear every single day, and nobody's filtering this stuff.
Yeah, bro.
That's a builder.
Yeah.
And we all know the type of people where they just let things slide, let it slide, and then it builds up. And then when it finally comes out in a very aggressive and uncontrollable way. Like you black out, you rage out, and then when you come down, it's like, damn, what did I do?
Yeah.
We have to figure out a way to prevent these things.
I agree. And like I said, with people having to work 3 or 4 jobs and do a bunch of hustling just to get by, of course they're gonna miss the opportunity to hang out with their kid. And again, like, the government don't help. You know what I'm saying? They will take a struggling mother and tell her, here's $110 in food stamps, figure it out. What's $110 in food stamps gonna do when you have like 2-3 kids? And look, I'm not saying be dependent on the government. I'm not saying that, because I absolutely fucking hate people who take advantage of it, because I know plenty of people who do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the government's helping. I feel like the government helps all the wrong people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're giving millions of shit to the migrants. One, they don't, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but they're not our people. You got homeless people that need bread, and they don't even help them.
Can I say this one thing right quick? Quick. Did you hear about the New York school that, like, the kids had to learn from home, so they put the
that was yesterday. Yeah, they told everybody, nah, y'all gotta go. We got migrants we're gonna house in here, and you gotta learn from school. Well, you know what was the worst part about that?
What's that?
They didn't even get to learn from home, because the teachers didn't do none of the shit for them to learn. They didn't know how to get the shit set up. So they didn't do none of that shit. So now all these migrants are in this school in Brooklyn and dirtying up the place. None of them are vaccinated. None of them are. I mean, they probably went through some kind of medical thing, but you know that shit was half-assed, bro. You know they were probably like, okay, you good. You know they ain't checking for shit. I promise you, they're not. There's just way too much. There's too many of them. And like I said, bro, there's people that waited years, bro. My step-pops, when he was with my mom, they would bust his ass. He had to go get all types of crazy shit for his green card, bro.
Mm-hmm.
No joke, bro. They almost deported his ass like 3 times.
Damn.
But yet they got almost 500,000 migrants in New York City just sitting around, bro. How long do you think it's gonna take before those migrants get so comfortable they're gonna start running around and doing wild shit, creating their own gangs? Like, that's how gangs started, by migrants coming to places they don't understand, and they have no numbers. They built up, and that's how gangs were created, bro. Like real shit. That's how the Italians drop off, and they made up their own gangs, bro. And that's how that shit. And that's exactly what's gonna happen, bro. New York City is gonna turn into a battlefield full of migrants that we can't control and we can't take out. And that's what's going down, bro. Those kids are gonna end up in those schools, and we're gonna have a whole new gang of young migrant kids that don't know shit and just gonna start running amok, bro. They're gonna be doing all types of weird shit out there. I don't know, bro. The only thing I can say to the migrant shit is that if we don't do something quick, bro, it's gonna collapse the system, bro.
Yeah.
And Mr. Joe Biden himself don't do shit about it.
Yeah. But